Right now we come to chapter 8. B2B e-commerce, supply chain management, and collaborative commerce. Learning objective for these chapters. Number 1, discuss the evolution and growth of B2B e-commerce, as well as its potential benefits and challenges. Okay, so we're going to discuss the evolution and growth of B2B e-commerce, as well as its potential benefits and challenges as well. Okay, number 2, understand how procurement and supply chain relate to B2B e-commerce. Number 3, identify major trends. Okay, keyword here, major trends in supply chain management and collaborative commerce. Number 4, understand the different characteristics and type of net marketplaces. Okay, so there are a few types, so we are going to explore this. Understand the objective of private industrial networks, PIN, private industrial networks. Their role in supporting collaborative commerce and the barriers to their implementations. Okay, so we're going to explore this. The highest e-commerce business models implemented by some of the big companies in the world, PIN. Okay, so let's look at the trends in B2B e-commerce. B2B e-commerce today are flexible, growing emphasis on rapid response and optimal supply chains. Right? So resurgence in net marketplaces, bringing together hundreds of suppliers and thousands of buying firms. They act as net marketplaces, which is connecting thousands or hundreds of suppliers and also buying firm as well in one single platform. Okay, so supply chains able to provide better visibility in real time. Okay, so means like example, manufacturer able to get the latest update of demand from downstreams of supply chain, such as retailers, distributors, and also consumer. Right. So when they look at this, supplier, manufacturer, distributor, retailer, and consumer. So manufacturer able get the demand updates. Okay, from downstreams, right? This is what we call downstreams and upstream of supply chains. Okay, so real time means it get the update as soon as possible. The demands change, right? So the changes in the demand, manufacturer also will get the latest update as well, as soon as possible. So social and mobile commerce and customer intimacy, right? So the technology here make things a difference. Things are fast enough to update each others, and also cloud computing, right? Able to provide online sharings and also edits. Okay. Big data and growing use of business analytics. This is another trend, means consumer behavior and demographics, right, can be analyzed, okay, by this buyer, this manufacturer. Internet of Things, as well, IoT. Okay, make things, what is it called? When things are moving on the road or in the warehouse, okay, so you can actually check the status, whether the temperature is okay or not. Okay, the quantity is there, right? Sufficient, right? So means the sensor will tell you, okay, from time to time, rather than you have to check manually. Okay, and accountable and sustainable supply chain, right? So how supply chain can sustain, can be maintained, right? So we need about technologies, right, to maintain. Okay, two things, right, to maintain the informations, right, and also to maintain the connections. Okay, information like something like database connections as well. Okay, so these are some of the trends in B2B e-commerce. Okay, so supply chain should be in real-time manner, right? Sharing informations. Okay, while using mobile and social commerce, right, to make e-commerce, right, to get those information in real-time manner. Okay, and cloud computing actually able to provide even better sharing in terms of file and also edits file as well. Okay, so means in real time means the other party update the file, the other party actually can get the file as soon as possible. Okay, so big data is used to analyze consumer behavior and also the demographics of consumer. Okay, so Internet of Things makes what is it called real-time update become possible. Okay, so while things on the move, it can update system. Okay, and the last one, technologies is used to maintain, right, both information database and also connection between different parties in supply chains in order to be sustainable, right? So basic definition of B2B commerce, right? So we're going to look at what is different between B2B commerce and B2B e-commerce, right? B2B commerce, all type of computer enable inter-firms trade, right? Inter-firm. So as you learn the e-business and also e-commerce, right? E-business and e-commerce. Okay. So B2B commerce is cover everything, right? B2B. Right. So before internet, B2B transaction called trade or procurement process. Right. So B2B, right, basically work with supplier. Okay. On the other side, they work with customer. Right. So means inter companies computer system or software, right, to link the inter companies trade, right, between example production and supplier, right? So this is what we call e-business. So B2B e-commerce is the portion of B2B commerce enabled by internet, right? So customer actually now can actually throw up the e-commerce platform, right, to purchase, right, from B2B platform. Okay, so this actually happen, right, means enabled by the internet. Right, so company actually build out the e-commerce platform to connect with customers. Okay, so this is B2B e-commerce. So supply chain is organizations, people, business processes, technology, information required to produce product efficiently, right? So the whole piece, right, including suppliers, companies, B2B company and customer, right, to make things move, process, right, from one location to the other locations. That is supply chain, right? So in overall, okay, so supply chain. So supply chain actually is a big concept, right? Cover everything, right? From supplier to customer, from upstream to downstream, right? Okay, so the evolution of B2B commerce. Okay, so we look at the evolutions, right, since 1960 somethings. Okay, so it began with automated order entry system, right? Seller side solutions, electronic data interchange, buyer side solution, hub and spoke system, right? Means center and branches system, hub and hook system, right? Hub here, right? So there are many branches, right? So this is something like bicycles, hub and hook system, right? You know, by wheel, right? Bicycle wheels, right? So this is hub, right? Branches. Okay. Okay. So hub actually able to manage different spoke, right? Or branches. Okay, by using electronic data interchange. Okay. So means through the online or webs, right? Interchange. B2B e-commerce website. Okay, as well. This is in the traditional way. They're using some websites and also net marketplaces, private industrial networks. Right. So later we will see these two later. Right. So when look at the evolutions, right? Okay, since 1970, okay, automated order entry. So a simple computer to computers order entry system. Okay, and later, before the 1980s, electronic data interchange read there, okay, to convert, right, some unstructured input or data to standard document. Okay, so this is EDI. Right, so around 1995, right? So the web actually already invented. Okay, so web already there, 1995. Okay, so B2B e-commerce website actually born. Okay, and after that, there are more and more, what is it called, different kind of models come up. Right, so later we will see this. And after that, technology. Right, so latest technology to make things move forward, right? Or what we call mobile technologies. Okay, mobile technologies, social and mobile technologies. Right, so this is some of the evolutions. Okay, so I can say this is the turning point. Can you see here? Okay, before website and after, right? Before and after. Okay, before and after webs. Okay. Okay, so the growth of B2B e-commerce. B2B e-commerce, right? So in US, about 51%, right? Expected by 2020. So private industrial network continue to play dominant role in B2B, right? So private industrial networks. Non-EDI, B2B e-commerce, most rapidly growing type of e-commerce as well. Okay. So EDI continue as a workhorse of B2B commerce, right? So EDI very important, right? Make the B2B more manageable, more real times, in real time manners to communicate, to share informations. Okay, more effective means paperless. Okay, paperless, and it can transmit data in more effective way, right? So you can have a different kind of input, but at the end you can get a standard output, right? Okay, so not all industries similarly affected by B2B e-commerce. Okay, not all industry would benefit equally as well. Okay, so some have a EDI, some don't have EDI, right? But factor influencing move to e-commerce is significant utilization of EDI. Okay, even some company they don't implement, they don't have EDI system, but they're moving towards EDI system, right? So this is the trend, right? Whether you like it or don't like it, okay, you are moving forward, right? Adapt a new technology, okay, make things change, make things more efficient, more effective, right? So investment in IT and internet infrastructure, that cannot be avoided. Okay, market concentrated on purchasing and selling, right? So the whole market now is concentrate how to get the best material, best products, and how to sell, right, online. Okay, so this is a market concentration now, right? So market less concentrate on what's called how to get customer data, because now customer data easily they can get it online. Okay, so there are many analysis and software program online, and also service provider they can provide, right? So company actually focus on how they're going to sell, how they're going to buy. Okay, so potential benefits and challenges of B2B e-commerce. Of course, B2B e-commerce provide, right, enable company to have lower administrative costs, right, less workers or human. Okay, so manpower drop. Okay, lower search costs for buyer. So buyers search costs also drop as well. Why? So reduce inventory costs. Okay, so means more visibility now. They can see things clear. Example, the demand, right, downstreams. Then they don't need to keep higher inventory. Okay, so because the information actually they can view information in more accurate way. Okay, lower transaction costs as well, right? Increase production flexibility by ensuring just-in-time part delivery, right? Just how I mentioned, real-time communications, right? So just-in-time actually can be implemented. And improve quality of products by increasing cooperation among buyer and seller, right? Also decrease product cycle time, of course. Okay, increase opportunity for collaborations, right? So more transparency, right? More transparent, greater price transparencies, right? No more hidden costs. Okay, cost, the price actually visible to all, right? Rather than just to certain customer or buyer. Okay, increase visibility, right? This one for sure, increase visibility. However, some risks pose increased globalization and consolidation as well, right? Globalizations. When we talk about risk, means it can be more competitive, right? So the competition becomes more and more company actually able to jump into the pool, right? To to compete each other. All right. So when talk about procurement process, the way company, right? Procurement means purchase, okay, source and purchase. Why when talk about procurement? So we look at purchasing. We look at sourcing first, right? Procurement, procurement. We look at sourcing and purchasing. Okay, so sourcing means source, supplier, right? So procurement process is the way firm purchase material they need. Okay, so they have to decide who to buy from and what to pay. Right? So what they do, sourcing, they source. Okay, so completing the transaction as well. So each step is composed of many business processes and sub-activity, right? Requiring data to be recorded in seller and buyer. So the role of purchasing here is to purchase based on the sourcing info, right? Which supplier should or supposed to purchase from, right? To buy, okay? Product should buy from which supplier, okay? So procurement have to source, and then purchasing actually to purchase, right? So purchasing will buy, okay? Will evaluate supplier, right? Evaluations. Okay, so typical procurement process, there are 7 steps, right? So number 1, search, okay? Search for something online, okay? Because they want to source, okay? And then they also qualify supplier, okay? Qualified. So in the qualified activity, they can do their research, they check the credit history, okay, whether the supplier having a good credit, that means payment to their supplier as well. Suppliers payment. Check with their competitor whether this supplier is good or not, and also telephone research as well. Right. So these are the activities. Right. Down here are activities. Right. And negotiate. Right. Negotiate with supplier, and then place order. Right. Place order. Then after that, invoicing. Okay. Shipping as well, and remittance of payment. Right. So typically these are 7 steps of typical procurement process. Right. Search, qualify, negotiate. Right. Purchase order, invoicing, the managed invoicing, and also shipping. Right. And also remittance of the payment. Right. 7 steps. Okay. So firms purchase 2 types of goods. Okay. Number 1, direct goods and also indirect goods. Direct goods means integrally involved in the production, right? Involved directly to the product process, products and productions. Right? Indirect goods means all goods not directly involved in the production process. Example, maintenance and right the product for maintenance, machine maintenance, right? For machines repair, and also maintenance, repair, and O is, let me see, MRO. Operations, right? Maintenance, repair, and operation for operations. Okay. Firms use 2 methods to purchase. Right. Number 1, it can be contract purchasing and also spot purchasing. Right. Means they're having contract with, right, suppliers, or they just buy whenever they want. Okay, so when we talk about contract, that will involve long-term returns agreement. Right, spot purchase involve just purchase based on immediate needs. Right, two types. Okay, so procurement is highly information intensive and also labor intensive as well. Right, so that's why the procurement have to become what is it called, online as well. Right, online to reduce labor intensive. Okay, so purchasing managers is the key player in the procurement process. Right, to make decisions. Okay, key decisions makers. Okay, right. In supply chain also the same, right? Talk about visibilities, right? We look at the forecast and so for scheduling of the productions and also order management, logistic management, right? So these are some of the typical supply chain activities. Okay. So the role of existing legacy computer system means generally all the framework and mainframes and also many computer system used to manage the key business process, right? Or in another term we call it as a server, right? Server, right? So in B2B company, they are using enterprise system, right, to connect different kind of functions. Right, it can be corporate wide, right? Company connecting to company, company to company. Okay, support, control all aspect of production, right? So the purpose is to control and monitor and support procurement, finance, human resources, and others function as well in the company. Okay, right? Some train in supply chain management, right? So continue effort to improve process, right? So the the purpose of supply chain management is to connect, right, all the activities from supplier to production and also to customer, right? So in this topic, we're going to talk about how supply chain actually support the realization of B2B e-commerce, right? So EDI, as I mentioned, is a process or is a software to convert, right, to exchange data to information, right? From a raw data, right, is exchanged to readable or what's called standard forms of information, right? Okay, so mobile B2B also important, right? So used by most of the B2B e-commerce sites, right? Because it can be accessible from any mobile devices, right? Okay, so apps, okay, become important, right? When we talk about mobile platform, so B2B become more effective, right? More visible, right? When they actually having mobile apps. So B2B in the cloud, right? Cloud computing. Okay, cloud-based B2B system means when a B2B company they having what is it called, cloud system, cloud computing system, right? Anything actually their documents, their file actually can be shared online, right? So it means it makes their transaction become more efficient. Right, shift much of the expense of B2B system from firms to B2B network provider, right? By having data hubs, okay, or B2B platform. So cloud platform owners, what they do, they provide these kind of services. So computing, telecommunication capabilities, okay, also provide software, connectivity, data cleansing and quality, and also file storage. right? So cloud platform giving these services. Okay, so the effect is cost spread out over all members, means low cost, right? Means one system, one cloud actually shared by different kind of stakeholders, right? So cloud-based solution can be implemented rapidly, okay? Because it can be accessed anytime, anywhere, right? So means if the company they having different kind of many branches in different country, so they don't have problems, right? To share information, to share data online. Okay, so supply chain management system continuously link activity of buying, making, and moving product from suppliers to purchasing firms. Right. So means that some company they using the ERP system or Oracle's mobile apps. Right. These are more advanced software, much more advanced software. Okay. Why? Because they have a big and good database and much more powerful to process massive data. Right, means they can load even more data and process data in very efficient time. Okay, so integrates demand side of business equations by including order entry system into the process. Okay, so with supply chain management system and continual replenishments, inventory is eliminated and production begins only when order is received. Right, so they don't need to keep high inventory, right? So when the order received, they can immediately actually process the order. Okay, right? So supply chain management system, what they have now, they can get the information right in real time from their customer, right? From their customer. Okay, so this make things right become simple. Okay, so manufacturer enterprise system actually able to control this in advance. Okay, because the information from customer actually keep sending in real time. Okay, so I don't need to keep example high inventory. So no more high inventory. Okay, no more high inventory. Okay, so supplier also can be update from time to time. Okay, right. So basically the keyword is real times, right? Communications, right? So in the cooperative means supplier and customer, okay, they can actually link together, right? Either by using cloud, okay, they have their servers connecting each other, okay, right? So what they do is they have a workflow software actually to control all the information and data. All right. So social networks in B2B also become very important because a social network can provide personal connection that can help decision making in supply chain, right? Personal connections means it can focus more on personal opinion, right? Opinion, right? Feedback, example, okay? So that they can actually as some important input from consumer, right? For supply chain to make decision whether they having a good service, products, right? Example. So example, Dell's YouTube channel as well, right? Trying to collect customers, their customers, what is it called, feedbacks. Okay. So B2B marketings, more interpersonal and traditional retail marketing. Why? As just some mentions, okay. So they have a different kind of purchase, right? They can have contract sellings, or they just have a spot purchase, right? So these are some of the B2B marketing. Okay. So now we come to net marketplaces. Okay. So B2B, the four main types of marketplaces. Number one is e-distributor, e-procurement, exchange, and industry consortium. Right, we're going to look at this right one by one. So, what kind of business? Either direct or indirect, goods or business. Right, everything actually involved either put spot or long term. Okay. So let's look at this to categorize B2B net marketplaces, right? So we look at spot purchasing and also long term. Long term means more on contract, right? Purchase, right? So e-distributor is more on spot purchasing, right? Distributor, e-distributor, but of course they are selling more on indirect inputs. Okay, so this is more on direct. Direct means more involved on the product, the final product. Okay, they were going to build a product, so means example material to build the products. Right, indirect inputs means maintenance, repair, parts, machine for machines. Okay, independent exchange, right, is more on spot purchase as well, but for direct inputs. E-procurements, right, procurement means more on long-term contracts, industrial consortia as well. Okay, so from here you can see spot means just on demand. When the demands come, they can get the product as soon as possible. Right? In terms of contracts or long-term sourcings, right, there's only certain good supplier retain or maintain in the system, right, to provide a higher quality of products, right, to certain company or industry. Okay, let's look one by one. Okay, what does it mean e-distributor? Most common type of net marketplace, right? When we look at the connections, okay, supplier, manufacturer, okay, let's do it again. Okay, supplier, manufacturers, distributors, retailers, and consumer. Okay, distributor now turn to e-distributor. Okay, so what does it mean by e-distributor? So they having electronic catalog representing thousands of direct manufacturers, right? So manufacturers still, right, sent to, they still using the distributor, right, to help them to sell products. But of course, now distributor, they having e-commerce platform, right? So their e-commerce platform, they having thousands of direct manufacturers, right? So they display digital catalog, right? Digital catalog online. So typically independently owned intermediaries, right? As an agent, as an agent. Okay, so they offer industrial consumer customers a single source to purchase indirect goods, MRO, on spot basis, right? Okay, so this is a distributor, e-distributor, right? So e-distributor, okay. So they're connecting by suppliers. Supplier means manufacturer. So they display catalogs, right? They have a, what is it called? Digital catalogs, okay, to display manufacturers' products for buyers to purchase. Right. So the next one is e-procurements. Right. E-procurements is connect hundred and suppliers. Right. Connecting supplier either supplier is a manufacturer or non-manufacturer. Okay. So company have to pay fee to join the markets. Okay. So e-procurement to create online marketplace, right, for procurement and for supplier to looking for buyer looking for supplier, right? But of course, they have to pay fees to join. Long-term contractors purchasing of indirect goods, right? Contracts based on contract. Revenue from transaction fees. So whatever they do, they have to collect transaction because they provide service, right? To qualify supplier, to qualify buyers. Okay. As example like Alibaba, right? In China, Alibaba.com. So let's look at the diagram. Okay, so the difference between e-procurement with others, they actually provide value-added procurement services, right? Helping buyer to do sourcing, right? So you're just sitting in front of the computers, you actually able to get a good supplier. So they're also helping company or buyers on the selling services, right? So selling, so what they have a banking system, they have a logistics connection as well, right? So this important, right, to help buyers, okay, to buy in a more secure and effective manner, right? So value added, they provide value added services. Okay, whereas exchange, right? Exchange also connect hundreds to thousands of suppliers as well, and also buyer in a dynamic real-time environment. Right? What does it mean real-time dynamic? Whoever want to join the platform, right? So they just right join, right? Some seller they want to compete with others, right? To get buyer, right? So they actually can join these what we call dynamic and real-time environments. So vertical markets, spot purchasing in single industry, right? In single industry, right? Charge commission fees on the transaction as well, right? Okay. So let's look at the exchange. Okay, it's a digital marketplace, right? There are many supplier here. Of course, supplier they have to compete each other, right? So competition happen here. Okay, competition. So supplier actually fight or kill each other, right? To provide the best service, and also the best selling price to buyer. Okay, so it can be single industry, right? For car industry maybe, or not car industry, for any other industry like for manufacturer, right? Manufacturer they're always looking for alternative, right? They're looking for alternative. Okay. So let's say example looking for machines spare parts, right? So they can go to this exchange and looking for similar items, not so expensive. Okay, so some supplier able to provide. Okay, but of course they have to carefully actually look at the best one, right, in the list. Okay, so means the competition is very aggressive in exchange, right? So this platform allows supplier, whoever, whether you are a good company or not good company, not in a good company to supply the best products in right in the market, but you able to come in actually to compete. Okay, whereas the industry consortium do not allow that happen. Okay, industry consortiums only allow invited supplier of good quality supply in certain industry, example car industry, right, to come in to compete. All right. So let's look at industry consortium. Right. So industry consortium only allow invited supplier, a good and invited supplier. Right. Only invited supplier. Who are the right? So good and also reputed supplier means they have a good reputations invited. Okay, but of course, industry consortium they have to join as a member, right? As compared to just now e-procurement, it's almost the same. Provide value add supply chain services and also transaction services as well. Okay, so they also evaluate suppliers and also they also evaluate buyers, right? So they put up ranking and so they also put up rating as well. One is rating, one is a ranking, right? So means industry consortium platform actually evaluate. Right? Example is such as some platform which is selling certain product, like example car, right? Cars accessories, item, right? Or spare part. All right. So the last one is private industry networks. Okay. So when you look at just on the different kind of B2B um, uh, these are what's called types, main types. There are four types, right? The sound e-distributor, e-procurement, exchange, and also industry consortium. But when we talk about supply chain means it should connect, right? Supplier and customer from different countries, different locations, from different locations. Okay, so when B2B e-commerce become bigger and bigger and become more complex, okay, so it turned to what we call private industrial networks. So private industrial networks is something like web enables networks for coordinations, right? Coordinations, trans organizations, business processes, right? Not only one or two cus- um, uh, um, company or organizations, but it become multiple connections. Okay, so it is direct descendants of EDI, right? Linked to ERP system. Okay, so manufacturing and support industries, example like P&G, right? So let's look at PIN, right? So PIN is, and just how we look at the connections in supply chains, right? You have supplier, manufacturers, distributors, retailer, and consumer. So where is private industrial networks? Okay, private industrial network is to connect these. Okay, as a manufacturer, they actually support the system to connect supplier, distributor, and retailer as well into, I put them into one single system. Okay, so what they focus is they want to focus long-term business collaborations, right? So they build their own network. Example like Apple, Samsung, Walmart, all this, right? So they're able to sustain. right? Rather than compete each other. Okay, so this is how they build their own big territories, right, in order to survive, right? Okay, okay, this is a typical P&G private industry networks, right? So you can see they connect from supplier up to customers, right? They are 1, 2, 3, 4. Just I show you 5 and 6. Right, 6 functions here. Number 1, suppliers. Number 2, manufacturers. Number 3, distributors, retailers, customer, and also transporters. Okay, with 4 system. Right. Number 1, supply chain. A, supply chain management system. B, uh, B is or here only supply chain management system. Right. Some also they talk about inventory management system. But so far, your supply chain management system. And the second one, efficient customer response system means a system to analyze what customer want in terms of demand, the feedbacks, and also to serve them from time to time, right, by sending certain messages, right, processing invoice, processing purchase orders, and transporter as well, right, transporter as well. Okay, actually A, B, I can have to put another one, B, inventory system. Okay, 3, efficient customer response system, and this is a C, yeah? C. And last one, D, transport management system. All right. Okay, so these are the 6 functions, 4 systems, right? 4 systems in private industry networks, right? Typically, we look at P&G's PIN, right? Okay, so that's all for chapters 8. Thank you very much.